Okay, greetings everyone. This is First Centurion 753 with the next episode of Geopolitical Simulator 4, Power and Revolution, Irish Imperialism. Not a ton of imperialism going on right now. I think we made some trade deals with some countries, right? Don't we have some trade deals? Economically, we've got a trade deal selling beer to the United States and selling uranium to Romania. Interesting. That's a pretty good assessment there, isn't it? Detailed assessment there. We are selling 16 tons of uranium for $1.4 million. A large part of our supply. Very low price. We're buying uranium. Oh. Okay. We are buying uranium. Why does it say annual sale? That's a weird situation. And the annual sale of beer, obviously, our big moneymaker, $13 billion. But the other aspect of imperialism is particularly going to be the bases that we've been allowed to construct in the Portuguese overseas colonies. See here, what do we have? A strong alliance with the Portuguese right there, with rights of passage and the right to build a number of bases. The rest of our alliance system is the NATO support system, and that's what we have so far. Secret Service, managing networks. We've got agents politically spying in Cuba and Trinidad and Tobago, trying to uncover any political corruption there, international corruption there. Cuba, Venezuela are typically early rogue states. Trinidad and Tobago and Cape Verde are states that might be more set up for possibly colonial takeover. And then the United Kingdom, we're politically spying there. The series Patreon, Diogo Costa has recommended that we go ahead and support terrorist groups, Northern Ireland in particular, to try to get some independence there. And that actually might be a better idea because even if we do get the political corruption with the United Kingdom, we can't really bring it before the UN since the United Kingdom is a what do you call it? Permanent Security Council member. They have veto power. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and try that approach terrorist group. I don't know how long it will take for the Northern Ireland independence movement to gain independence. The whole goal was to get them to gain independence from England and then have us annex it. Of course, we'll have to annex them militarily because there is no political annexation in this game. So, but we'll try that for a little bit because, again, I don't know if... I think the big goal with the UK, if we're going to actually take them on militarily, is we have to break them from the NATO alliance, or at least the EU. So, we might wait to see if war unfolds between Russia and... usually war does break out in Europe between Russia and NATO, and maybe that will break the NATO alliance. So we'll see what happens with that. And I think we need time to gather our strength anyways. So let's go ahead and up our political spying in Venezuela. Venezuela would be a great place to expand for Ireland. Huge oil deposits, huge. Cape Verde too would be a nice geopolitical position. And of course Cuba becoming a rogue state early, moving against the Bahamas is a typical move in this game. You see that a lot. So let's just up this a little bit more. Cape Verde, 30 spies. Cuba, up to 40. Trinidad Tobago, 45. That would be a launching pad for Venezuela or Cuba. Up that to 50. And Venezuela up to 30. And again, the primary objective is defeat of the United Kingdom, so we'll bump up them 5. So Alright, so we're deploying a number of more special agents to our networks here. We'll confirm that, put them to work, put that resource to work. I don't think we need to expand it at all. We're looking pretty good with those numbers. Other suggestions on the channel include Hugo Batista suggesting that we increase the number of educators and police officers, as well as negotiating interest rates. Lower interest rates. Debt, let's see that. I like that idea, actually. Current debt, United Kingdom, it's pretty low. Brunei has the worst one, but they never go down. Let's see. We can probably bring that down a little lower. Let's go ahead and negotiate better interest rates. We do have a quarter ending here. Hopefully we can maintain the surplus to the end of the quarter. Brunei never negotiates lower, but we'll go for it anyways. We got a whole week of negotiations coming up here. Interest rate negotiations. United Kingdom, definitely a big one. Or United States, definitely a big one we should address. United Kingdom having the most debt. Japan looks like a big one. And I'm just going to be trying to lower this debt about half a percentage point, really, with a lot of these guys. Finland! Big lender. Let's get Finland. And we'll round out the week with Denmark, the other double-digit lender, which is pretty high at 2.4% there, 2.46. See if we can negotiate some lower interest rates this week. There's also the IMF and the oh, look at that. That's the European Central Bank. They are the largest lender, 42 billion. European Central Bank there. Let's see here. Budget excess is at 2.08. Percentage of public debt as GDP is now below 100. That's good, but you get total debt numbers here under taxation. So public debt has increased slightly in that first quarter, but it should go down now because we'll have a surplus for the entire quarter. And so the suggestion for more teachers and doctors, I might hold off now for a little bit. But what I was looking at was health. Did I say teachers and doctors? I meant teachers and police officers. What I think I might want to improve on is health now, or add more doctors. So I was looking at economics. If you look at GDP, we are 41 in the world at 240. It's not a bad number for our size. But, and let me give you some general overview number. Here's 4.8 million. Not a huge population, but pretty decent GDP for that population. And you see that if you go down to GDP per capita, which is huge. Great number. 52,000. That's really great. We're growing at 9.69%, which is great. Inflation is climbing. And maybe hiring doctors and police officers and teachers might help that. I'm not sure if it will or not. The other suggestion was to raise minimum wage, which could also slow down inflation as well. And that suggestion came from London McDonald to raise the minimum wage to $2,000 a week and raise the welfare state benefit to $200. So just to go into work real quick, look at those numbers. Minimum wage currently I think is at $1,625. If we increase that, I don't know if we'll be able to pull this off politically. Increase that, and I'm a right-wing candidate too. It's about third of a billion. Definitely not gonna do that right now. And then establish minimum solidarity allowance. I think this is what you mean by I thought this is what you meant by welfare state benefit. If you see, that's already over 224, so we're looking okay with that number. Because the suggestion was 50 a week, and I assume this is weekly, or even if it is monthly, we're still over 200, which was the recommendation there. So that's looking okay. Minimum wage, we'll look at that later on, maybe during the campaign, which is coming up in a few years. Where are we at here? Well, we got a while for the campaign. We'll see what. Let me I want to try to pay down some debt first before I raise that minimum wage. But what I was looking at as far as life expectancy, so GDP, we were 41. GDP per capita, this is a great number. We are 6th. And we have the possibility of overthrowing the United States and becoming top 5 GDP per capita. So, or surpassing the United States, not overthrowing the United States. So that, I think, might be a decent goal economically. So our GDP per capita is really high. And with the high GDP per capita, you would assume, health-wise, that gross national happiness would be high, but it's actually 13th. And human development is 12th. So I think those numbers should be able to go up more. And to bring those numbers up, I think I do want to improve health, because if we go to, where is life expectancy? Where's our life expectancy number? There's our life expectancy. 80. That number actually dropped. There it is. Yeah, our life expectancy number dropped from 81 to 80. We reduced our expenditures a lot to save money, create a surplus. But we also are dealing with population per doctor increasing. So I think maybe hiring some doctors might be our best bet. And I'm gonna bring it up to 5,000. It's only $13 million, not a ton of money, and that'll hire some more employees. Confirm that, and I think that might actually bring down the unemployment rate, hopefully below, because that should give us at least 0.1, I would think, of the employment. But that number really shouldn't be based on population; it should be based on active population. So it should definitely bring us down below 4, hiring those teachers. I'm sorry, the doctors. And we'll look to hire teachers and police officers later. But I do want to try to bring up national happiness by improving health and getting life expectancy back up. That sort of dropped a little bit. Yeah, going with the population here. The gross national happiness has been increasing, but I'd like to increase it at a faster rate and get it up into at least the top 10. And yeah, so GDP per capita, that's been growing. That looks really good. And there was just that life expectancy number that I want to bring back up a little bit. Population living below the poverty line is dropping, so I don't think I have to worry too much about minimum wage right now. But minimum wage might be a good counterbalance to the inflation number, if that's what was being, that's what the recommendation was based off of. Let's get through the week and hire some people, or not hire, or lower some interest rates. That's a nice bump. Public finances is looking good, and we still get 5% bump for health, employment, and public sector. So that all worked out well. What do I want to look at? Oh yeah, I want to look at some economics with you guys while we're waiting. Farming economy has increased 10. That's from the beer deal, I think. GDP active in the country, that's growing. So agriculturally, we are growing. Our trade balance has increased from 5 billion to 16 billion. So agricultural sector is looking really good, and I'm going to try to continue to encourage agriculture expansion.
I'd be happy to. That's what we call entertaining.
With the EU budget, that's one thing I'm going to vote for.
Very kind.
Okay.
Well, what kind of offer do you wish to make us?
No, I don't want that. Let's see if we can get away with this from England. 1%.
We would prefer to terminate this negotiation.
Ooh.
The term.
Not happy with that one. Alright, we did not lower our interest rate there. Let's keep going. Alright, so wait, go back. I do want to look at some more economics. Industries area where we are lacking. Trade balance for industries still pretty high. Hold on, let me go here. Brunei. We're never gonna get Brunei.
And why not play a game of wits?
Oh man, these guys hate me.
Very kind.
I should probably bribe them.
Very well. What kind of offer do you wish to make us? Very well. We accept your offer.
Wow, Brunei never negotiates low. We put a pretty low number on that, I guess. Sweet. Yeah, so back into farming. Imports, we are importing less. We're exporting a lot more. So agriculture looks good. Industry, however, ooh, look at this.
Our governmental cell informs me that it has had the opportunity to approach this potential informant.
Nice, let's get that dirt on Cuba. Cuba is definitely a country we can go after. Of course, I need to increase my military. Total income has increased. That's pretty good. That's from our tax revenue.
Huh. That's not very.
Okay, and
what kind of offer do you wish to make us?
I'm just going to drop it down to 1.8. How about that?
Very well. We accept your offer.
Sweet. Okay, so back to industry. Just to look at what's going on here. Trade imbalance, we definitely have a deficit with industry. Imports remain the same. Not much change has gone on in industry here. We're just looking at a deficit there. Alright, ooh, get out of there. Who's this guy? Let's see, can we meet with him? Maybe get us bumped up over 90? Or have us a little closer to 90%?
I'd be happy to.
Japanese lender.
Very well. What kind of offer do you wish to make us?
Try 0.3%.
Very well. We accept your offer.
Alright, that number is looking good. So, the other area of the economy is service. I think we are consuming less services. We're importing less. Exportations are about the same, but our production is lower. Our GDP is lower, even though we're importing less. So I assume that means that's less consumption of services.
I'd be happy to. That's what we call
Finland.
Very well. What kind of offer do you wish to make us?
Okay, Finland. 1.9.
Very well. We accept your offer.
Good. I think we have one more country left, right? Denmark. Go ahead and push it to Denmark. There's our Danish lender.
I'd be happy to.
Good.
Very well.
We're
What
going to look
kind
for
of
the
offer
same
do you
rate
wish to make
as
us?
Finland.
Very well.
Ching. Alright, we should be able to save some money there. Let's go to our debt again. Boom. Alright, new rates. And let's get a political endorsement. Okay. And now we want to push to the end of the quarter. Ireland is a model country for the World Bank, according to their president. That's interesting. Bargain concluded. Ah, nice. Trinidad and Tobago seems to be a means of conducting persuasive foreign policy. That's a weak bump. Okay. Medical Union. Medical Union likes us. We can get an endorsement from them, maybe. We just got a nice bump. Check out that Medical Union. Got 35,000 people here. So I wonder if we can get an endorsement from them now that we have just increased the number of doctors 400, and that endorsement could get us up into the 90s. It'd be pretty sweet. New newspaper coming out already. Flying through the weeks here. Trying to get down. Oh, here we go. Papua New Guinea.
I'd be happy. It's very... Okay, if it makes you happy.
Union endorsement. I've never gotten union endorsements outside the campaign, really. What's going on with this country? Monarchy. Perfect democracy score looks pretty good. Sure, let's go ahead and meet with them. And I'll do the thing. I will buy to drive down the inflation, hopefully.
Regulate the agricultural budget with the European budget.
Yes.
This is the agenda for the next summit. Your presence is of course necessary. Shall I?
Yes, and I want to drive up that agricultural budget as high as possible. Push our industries, because we are really pushing that. 0.4, not a big bump. GDP, $51 billion in agriculture. It's a lot. Minister of Transport is now in our pocket. Industry, 73. We got more in industry, I guess. And then our income for service is 91, so we're mostly a service economy. So, I guess hopefully room to grow with the agriculture. But service, we should try to increase tourism. And I forgot the number. I don't know if anyone remembers what the number was for the airport. Where is that? There's our airport. Come on, right there. 18 million passengers. Let's slow this down a little bit. 18 million passengers.
Good morning. I didn't come empty-handed. In fact, I wanted you to see in order to submit to you this economic contract which, as you will see, is
Profitable for both of us. Gold. I love gold. Wow, they produce a lot of gold. 68 tons of gold. We consume 6. Oops, that's not what I want. And their price is much better than ours. Can I get 6 out of them? Yeah, you bet. Okay, no, not interested. See you later. Maybe I should have gone for that. I don't know. Too late now. Anyways, so 18 million was the passenger count. And try to remember that, if you can, because I am going to, after the quarter, I'm going to lower that airline tax again and see if we can stimulate tourism. I want to write down those numbers, actually. Tourism and air traffic. Let's see here. Dublin Airport has got 18 million. And if we go into the tourist industry, which is probably the better measure than measuring the airport.
If the budget figures remain where they are, we will have to issue a new debt in the next few days.
Give me a break.
In this regard, I must inform you that some time ago, you negotiated interest rates with some lenders. These rates may have to be reappraised, since our budgetary deficit has worsened significantly since then. The only way to keep them as they are is to bring our projected deficit back to where it was at the time of these negotiations.
Got it. I got it. Alright, so let me see this. We still have a surplus. Why is this happening? Angry. I don't think I have time to get a law passed. So that means I just have to cut stuff. And let me see here. Unemployment did not drop as much as I thought it would. Inflation is slowly climbing. I have to cut expenses. Oh, I know where I can cut expenses. No, damn it. Alright. I was hoping to get that national youth movement cut. I hate cutting expenses. I hate... it's such a tough thing to do because somebody's going to get hurt. Well, if unemployment at 4%... Are there any cultural expenditures we can cut here? Circus. Paying for the circus. I don't want to cut cultural expenses though because I'm trying to drive up tourism. Research. We don't want to cut research. Get rid of the space program. I would say it was 7 million. I don't think that'll be enough. I was thinking about cutting the employment agency. 253 million. Yeah, it's so tough to figure out where you can cut. Wherever I cut, it's gonna hurt. Turnover tax is the one thing. That's a nice number. $10 days. It won't pass in 10 days, though, will it? I'll go ahead and do that anyways. What was it? Inheritance tax? That always seemed to work. $69. Let's go ahead and attach the airline tax cut to this bill as well. Knock that down to 20%. 71. Looks good. Alright, we'll get that passed. And I don't know if that's going to help. How much that's going to help. Let's take a look at tourism while we're waiting here. Probably going to have riots. Where's my tourism? Hotel trade. World info. Millions of dollars. Okay, production is at 10 to 4 million. 204 million. Consumption is at 5,364 million. Imports, exports. GDP is 6,341,208. Employment. $410K. Alright, I wrote down all the numbers. And I think we're coming to the end of the episode here, right? It looks like, oh my god, purchasing power went up. Public finance, social, old folks. Purchasing power. Purchasing power is good to see that go up. Alright, so I think I'm going to end the episode here. And in the next episode, we'll find out what the results are. When is that bill going to get passed? 29th, 30th, maybe just in time. Alright, well, thank you for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you did and you want to see more. Also, you can support me on Patreon or follow me on Twitch. That'll be in the description below. Links will be in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.